my new rap partner. This is my new rap partner.
Yo, are you ready for me yet?
Fourth member of the Fugees. That's my man.
So, you always bring out the funny side of me. So, Wyclef, you're an amazing man, and I've loved getting to know you. And for those, you need to know, Wyclef is a 3-time Grammy winner, has sold millions of albums, and is the artist and writer and producer behind so many hit records. In fact, you're going to learn today about some hits that you don't even know that Wyclef wrote, and they are huge. And we had a great time earlier this year. We spent time together at the World Economic Forum in Davos when Wyclef came. This is actually that's not me, that's Wyclef. And as you can see, the World Economic Forum is generally much more buttoned up, but Wyclef, you really turned it up, so thank you.
Thank you.
Now, my first question for you today is, at Global Citizen, we really believe in the power of music, music as the anthem for our movement, music as the driver for change, and music as a great unifier. What role do you see for music in global advocacy?
I think for me, I was born in Haiti, extreme poverty, came from a hut. So by the time I got to Brooklyn, to the projects, I felt I was rich. You feel me? So I try to explain people, going from one area to another, it's either you're gonna be in a gang or you're gonna get beat up. And then so I decided to join the hip hop gang. And the hip hop gang was a very interesting one, because what it did was it kept us out of the streets and it made us fall in love with music. And what I'm trying to explain to people is the power of music actually save children's lives. So it's bigger than just you hear these songs and you see these incredible artists. I mean, I would perform and someone would come up to me and be like, yo, I literally was thinking about taking my life and I heard your song, Someone Please Call 911, and I changed my mindset. So I really want people to know, like, the power.
Oh, come on.
The power of music, that chant, that seance, it's bigger than us. And so I think that I'm an example of music save lives for real,
So powerful. And you got your start in music at church, actually. And on Easter Sunday, I had the honor of joining you and your family's church firsthand. And we were able to celebrate Easter Sunday service together. Take a quick look.
My dad literally, every piece of his soul, like he literally put into this place. My brothers and sisters, we were the actual church band. So the congregation literally was just the family.
You will bless whatever we give this morning for your glory.
I want to thank you, Paz, for growing this church. Ces amis, these are my friends, global citizens. Nous aidez le monde.
These kids, from the tiny ones on up, I'm here to let them know it's cool. It's cool to show up on Sunday.
So, Wyclef, it's amazing what your family has built. It really is amazing. How did, for you, performing in church, I remember that conversation we had out the front of your church, how did that create a community for you?
Well, I mean, before I answer that, I went to church Sunday and the pastor was like, yo, where your friend? I told him he was busy, you know what I'm saying? He waiting for you next Sunday. I think for me, like, my daddy always believed that the communities are the ones that need that message. So that church that you see there is 1108 South Orange Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. The church was actually a funeral home. So it wasn't a church. My daddy was driving and then he said, we saw the funeral home. And we got out, and he was like, "The Lord has given me a vision." And in my brain, I was like, "Damn, my dad crazy." But this vision grew this community, and this amazing community. So the thing is, like, when people say like church, you got to understand, it's not about that physical place that's there with the building and all of that. It's the fact that it's a safe haven. People know that they could come and worship and talk to each other, eat with each other, and because the real essence of church is really just community. So that's really sort of like where it really came from. But yo, when my dad bought that church, this is something I didn't see, and this is where I get my entrepreneur skills from. All I saw was a burnt down funeral home. But later, as this church started to build, he was renting a parking lot, and I realized he bought this church for that big, big parking lot. So I started selling lemonade from that parking lot. I had to make some money too, you feel me? Yeah. So church is all about community, again, empowering, and it's a cheat code for us. So it's like, you get thrown in church at 8 years old and you gotta go. It's like they throw you in front of the congregation. You go, I'll be a witness. You wanna try that?
I mean, I so like kind of like
Yeah, there you go. There you
shuffle.
go. There you go. That's that church shuffle. Yeah. You with me, man? That's that church shuffle. And you got rhythm, man. You got rhythm too. You got that rhythm.
We did that in church. So okay, so I can't dance anywhere near as well as you can, Wyclef, but I want to do a bit of a rapid fire now about the power of music and transforming your life. So if we can bring up the metronome on the screen, I want 75 seconds on the clock, please. We're going to start. I'm going to give you a whole lot of rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, shoot.
Song or artist that inspired you to take action?
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. All-time greatest anthem?
Exodus, movement of job people.
Oh, wow. Okay, rising artist that you think is using their voice for good?
Zion Marley.
Zion Marley.
Yes.
Amazing. If you could time travel to any era and write a song that changes history, what would you choose?
I definitely go right back to the Beatles era, you know what I'm saying? I'll be with John Lennon,
Yeah?
Imagine I'll be right there with him singing and writing it with him.
Okay, that's amazing. Best piece of advice to young creatives to channel their art into advocacy?
Yo, they're gonna be like, you are weird, you are a nobody, and you'll never make it. And once they say that, you're on your way.
Okay, we're gonna go, okay. Okay, we're gonna speed up. Most collaborative in the studio. Who's the most collaborative?
I would say Michael Jackson.
Most funniest artist to work with behind the scenes?
Stevie Wonder.
Genre of music that you like that might surprise people?
I like techno.
We're out. All over. Okay, you can answer this one.
I like techno.
You like techno?
Yeah, man.
I like that.
It's like
128 beats per
techno is
minute,
like it's
house?
like calculus.
You're into house
It's
music?
like calculus math, Yeah, I actually, here's a Wyclef trivia. My first song ever was a house song in 1990. It was called Out of the Jungle, and they named me Africali. So anybody who want to check that out, I bet you ain't know that.
I'm going to be Googling that right after this.
Africali, baby. Out of the jungle, Africali.
Okay. I would not have expected that. So we're talking about investing in the next generation today, and just this month, you were honored for your contribution to kids' music education. Congratulations on that. Tell me, what does music education specifically do for kids?
I think that, again, a proof of concept. In high school, a music teacher discovered me at 16 years old, and she no longer became a teacher, she became a parent. And so the idea of teachers in these schools that are just stepping up the bar. And she walked up to me, I was playing piano, circle of fifths. She was like, where you learn that? I said, I learned it from the church. She said, tomorrow you starting jazz. And I was like, I am not starting jazz. I'm going to be a battle rapper like LL Cool J. And she put me in jazz and classical and started teaching me music theory. That's when I fell in love with Gershwin and with Quincy Jones. And then I understood I could be one of the greatest composers of my generation, all to a music teacher in public high school.
Well done. That is amazing. See, that's the power of education, see? Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Okay, and I'm going to go off script for a second because I want to ask one more question that I asked you when we were driving in the car back from church to your place. I said, of all the Fugees songs, which one do you like the most? And your answer was amazing because you shared with me a connection to an amazing artist that gave you the rights.
Yeah, because I'm a super weirdo when it comes to music. Enya. So my favorite Fugees
Enya.
song. Yeah, so now I'll take you a step further. So when y'all hear the song, Ready or Not, Here I Come, You Can't Hide, I sampled Enya. Can you imagine that? I'm in the hood. My boys think I'm out of my bonkers, man. They're like, yo, what's that? I'm like, Enya. They like, who names themselves that? What's that? But I fell in love with that.
Okay, and you have to listen to the start of Ready or Not now. Go home and listen, and you hear the Enya song came in, and you called Enya herself, right?
Yeah, definitely, because I didn't clear the sample at the time. So big shout out to Enya if you're watching this. Thank you for
Shout
clearing
out to
the
Enya,
sample.
everyone.
Yes, big shout out to Enya.
Okay, so I love spending time with you. You're awesome. So building off the power of music and community that we talked about today, would you be up for leading all of us in an impromptu sing-along?
Okay, that sounds cool. So this year we celebrate 20-year anniversary of the song me and Shakira wrote, Hips Don't Lie. So,
Okay, see?
So, come on.
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
one
yeah.
person. Yeah, come on, be a good, okay. And then everybody else, what y'all gonna do, so I'm gonna produce the crowd. Don't worry, no, I got you, I got you. trust
I'm
me.
observing.
Now, everybody else, y'all gonna stand up. And then, so here we go, right? So when I'm gonna teach y'all the hook, right? I'm gonna go, I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Si, bonita, si, okay? But now, while we doing that, fellas, especially you, I'm gonna need to see the hips, okay? I need this.
Do those hips
1, 2, 3, 4. I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Si, bonita, si. Shakira, Shakira, oh baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So keep on rocking to the sound of the samba. Sing! What? Amazing, give her a round of applause.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Wyclef Jean, give him the biggest round of applause.